Welcome back to the second video of Lesson 1 in Section 4, where we will continue to look at linear equations of the form x plus a equals b, where a and b are integers. Two more examples here. Solve for w. -5 plus w equals 8. If you look closely at this linear equation, our variable this time, the w, is not directly out in front. But that's okay. We still treat this the same way. So if I look at -5 plus w, I think about, well, what's the opposite to -5 or subtracting 5? And that would be adding 5. -5 plus 5, do the opposite operation, plus w equals 8. And whatever I did to the left-hand side, I must do to the right-hand side. -5 plus 5 gives us 0. So we're just left with our 1w, and 8 plus 5 equals 13. We have just solved our equation. I will point out, if you are given -5 plus w equals 8, and you wish to rearrange, that's quite all right. And what I mean by that is that if you want to have your variable out in front, and then go subtract 5 equals 8, that's perfectly acceptable. As long as the sign or the operation that's in front of your term is consistent, as long as that stays the same, you're good. If you wanted, you could proceed and solve this particular equation as we've been doing. Let's verify our w equals 13. -5 plus w, 8. In place of the w, I substitute 13, because that's what we found w to be. -5 plus 13 is indeed 8. W equals 13 is correct. Solve for z. -4 equals z subtract 6. In this example, our variable is on the right-hand side. You do have the option of flip-flopping your equation, and what I mean by that is you could put down z subtract 6 equals -4. You still have the same sign or operation in front of each of your terms, so this is okay. And you could proceed as normal. I will work with the form of the equation that we were given. My variable is on the right-hand side. That's where my concern is. Associated with the variable on the right-hand side is a subtract 6. Opposite to subtract 6 is add 6. Whatever I did to the right-hand side, I have to do to the left-hand side. Added 6, gotta add 6. -6 plus 6, 0. So I'm just left with my variable, 1z, and -4 plus 6, 2. Therefore, z equals 2, or if you want to write your final answer with the variable on the left-hand side, you could just write down z equals 2. All good. Let's verify. -4, circle, z subtract 6. In place of the z, I put my 2. -4, circle, 2 subtract 6 is -4, so we have equality. -4 equals -4, z equals 2 is good. Let's conclude this lesson with a word problem. Your mathematical sentence is 6 less than a number m is -5. Our task, we have to write a linear equation to represent this sentence and then solve it to find the value for m. 6 less than a number. That tells me my number has to come out in front. So my m, my variable, is out in front. 6 less than that, subtract 6, gives me the equality, -5. So here's our equation. M subtract 6 equals -5. We want to do the opposite operation to -6, which would be add 6. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Subtract 6 plus 6 cancels out. We're left with m, 1m, which is exactly what we want, and -5 plus 6 gives us a +1. M equals 1 is our number. If you wanted to verify your answer with your equation, you certainly could. It's never a bad idea. For the equation that we started with, m subtract 6, if I substitute the 1 in, 1 subtract 6 is -5, and yes, -5 equals -5. So if we wrote our equation correctly, then our solution should be good. And now I'd like you to proceed to the activities for Lesson 1.